Dludlu is a former editor of the Sowetan newspaper, now executive for strategy and public affairs at the Small Business Institute. And he writes this week that while the president aims to inspire confidence, his team appears to be the enemy within, the enemy within. He goes on to say that as hard as the president tries to sound optimistic, his core message fails to inspire investor and business confidence. Dludlu is with me now on Thursday lunchtime. John, good afternoon to you and welcome. Why is this group then, as you say, trying to extinguish the candle of hope? What's the thinking? What's the strategy, do you think?
You know, Jeremy, if I had the solution, I would be making so much money. But I was quite pleased that I'm not the only one who feels the same. That's my colleague, Brendan Reynolds, sort of picked it up at Business Day. And he's the guy who sits in Cape Town observing the world. So let me speculate about the reasons. I think Minister Mantashe has got a different vision about the energy situation. He still believes in the old way of doing things. In other words, I don't think he has adequately bought into the vision of renewables, independent power producers. I think he still believes in coal. Now, there's no problem with that. However, it has to be communicated because we thought the president was moving on two fronts. First, to break up Eskom into three subsidiaries, and then introduce a bit of competition. But also, before you introduce competition, you have to ensure that there's a just transition. And the independent power producers, as well as municipalities and companies that can generate power on their own, all they needed was an enabling and legislative environment from government. I don't know why this is taking so long. We also know that Minister Mantashe is on the president's faction of the ANC. He's one of those who got the president elected in 2017 in Nasrec. Why he would do this, I don't know. Then comes the other minister, Minister Stella Ndabeni. We know that this minister is violated the regulations. I don't know if 3 months docking of her salary was sufficient punishment for her. But here is the real injustice that is being done. We are all, as a country, economic operators, as well as households, we are all being deprived the benefits of a spectrum, of a broadband spectrum, because that would lower down the price of data, and it would make
John,
communications accessible.
We just don't have time to go through every single recalcitrant cabinet minister, but let me put this to you. How much of this is President Ramaphosa's fault himself? Decision-making, it seems, takes too long, that there's almost too much consensus seeking. Yet, in spite of all of that, you still contend that he is not a man without agency.
I think it's increasingly becoming the president's fault. Let's take one example. In the Eastern Cape today, the Premier of the Eastern Cape did what we would expect the president to have done with quite a few of those ministers. What is stopping the president from doing this? By far, he's the most powerful single individual in the ANC. He doesn't need to consult the world to reshuffle the cabinet. It's about time that he did it. So I'm sorry, but I have to put the blame on the president's doorstep on this one.
So he's got the agency, you're saying he's just not prepared to use it?
You know, Jeremy, I think the president is looking at the political calculus of the ANC. There's the NGC, which is coming up in May, and then there's local government elections that's coming up in May, towards the end of the year. And then importantly, you have seen overtures by the EFF trying to take over the ANC and radicalize it. So this must be giving him sleepless nights, but it still does not prevent him from acting, certainly acting on behalf of the citizens of the country, not only the ANC members.
John Dludlu, I thank you very much indeed. Well,